was offered $30,000 to perform a hit on Biggie Smalls.
Kim is dead. Heavy D is dead. Andre Harrell is dead. The only two left are Puffy and Al almost.
P. Diddy is connected to the murder of his friend and one of the biggest rappers of all time, the Notorious B.I.G. It is an open secret in the industry, and yet no one is brave enough to talk about his involvement. Well, except one person. The only one not afraid to speak the truth is 50 Cent, who has released a song exposing the truth of Diddy's connection to Biggie's death. Diddy has made a reputation in the industry not just as a talented music producer and an exceptional businessman, but more than that, he is known as a dangerous person who would go to any lengths for money, even if it means taking lives.
And he knew exactly what I meant, because he'd been standing next to something his entire career. Right. He stood next to Biggie, you put hot on him. That's stand next to the fighters you want, right? You stood next to Mace, stood next to Ja. Look, Puffy might be the destination for anybody going nowhere.
50 Cent isn't one to turn his back on the truth. He's the only rapper willing to talk about Diddy's wrongdoings. In fact, he even wrote it in his diss track, clearly stating that Diddy knew exactly who killed Biggie. Maybe he doesn't want to outright claim that Diddy killed Biggie, but just like everyone else, 50 Cent knows how much profit Diddy made out of Biggie's death. Diddy's former bodyguard Uncle Ron has come forward and claimed that the person behind Biggie's death is none other than Diddy.
He and Puffy wanted Biggie killed. Bottom line.
Uncle Ron says Diddy was ready to murder Biggie after finding out that Biggie was planning on leaving his label.
Here's a man that wanted to leave Bad Boy. He wanted to do his own thing. He mentioned several times how he was tired of being used in a...
Uncle Ron isn't just making speculations. In fact, he knew firsthand that Diddy was going to kill Biggie because Diddy tried to hire him to do the job. Although Uncle Ron refused to do it, someone else took up the offer. Many of the artists under Diddy's contract left the music industry for good. One of the best artists under Bad Boy Records was Mace. Back in the day, it seemed like Mace would go on to become one of the biggest names in the industry, but one day, he suddenly announced that he was retiring and leaving the music industry for good. He became a pastor. It seems like he wanted to escape this life that he had created under Diddy's label. Diddy is still after Mace for money, accusing him of owing him millions. But Mace says otherwise. He says everyone at Bad Boy Records was getting conned and ripped off by Diddy. And everybody else you made sign paperwork so they can't talk about what I'm talking about. I'm the only one with the guts. I'm not signing, nigga, cause I don't need the money. All money ain't good money, remember that. At one point, Mace even accused Diddy of starving his artists, and then later acting all high and mighty in front of the public. He wrote, "If you want to see change, you can make a change today by starting with yourself. Your past business practices knowingly starved your artist." The Notorious B.I.G. was a revolution in the hip-hop world. In just a few years, he was able to transform the whole music landscape. He thought he had his friend by his side, Diddy. The two were best friends. Biggie joined Diddy's label Bad Boy Records as soon as it was launched because he trusted Diddy to give him the best opportunities and make the best decisions for him. At the time, it seemed as if the two would be inseparable. Looking back, it's clear that Diddy never let Biggie have the share he was worth. He stole from him and stripped him of all the fame and money he should have made. But Biggie trusted Diddy and would blindly follow him anywhere. Biggie's mother talked about her son's contract with Bad Boy Records and made it pretty clear she didn't approve of this contract or Biggie and Diddy's so-called partnership. She said, "The truth is, Christopher accepted the illusion of a friend and mentor for about $25,000. That's the amount Puffy lured my son with. That was a lot of money for Christopher back then as a 19-year-old. He had never seen that much at one time in his life. It was enough money to make my son believe that Puffy was ready to do anything for him. It was enough to buy a blind love and loyalty. It's clear now, after all these years, that Biggie was only just a money-making machine for Diddy. He never saw Biggie as a friend or a brother, rather just a naive person who he could easily rob. And he did just that for years before Biggie realized what was going on. But before his death, Biggie had finally realized the truth. After years of not being appreciated enough for his talent, Biggie realized that Bad Boy Records would be the death of him as an artist. What he couldn't have predicted was that even trying to leave the record would be suicide. Biggie had decided to leave Diddy's label and join another that would really value him as the exceptional artist that he was. Biggie's former bodyguard Gene Deal claims that Biggie himself told him about his new deal. Gene had to watch over Diddy's briefcase during a flight. It outlined Big's earnings in increments of $250,000 but left publishing income in Puff's possession. When he asked Biggie about it, Biggie confessed to him that it was time he parted ways with Diddy and his label. He showed me it had Charlie Baltimore, Cameron, Lil Cease, Lil Kim, Junior Mafia, Tracy Lee, and the Commission. I think the contract was for so many years for like $62 million. It comes out to $62 million. Diddy must have realized Biggie's plans of escaping him. so he decided he would make one final sacrifice. Diddy sacrificed his former friend and the first person who trusted him with his label. By eliminating Biggie, Diddy was able to keep all the music catalogs. Diddy bought Biggie's publishing rights back when Biggie had started and was struggling financially. By murdering him before he could leave the label, Diddy successfully made sure that any money that comes out of Biggie's music goes straight into his pocket. Diddy's daughter even tweeted saying, "Puff does nothing for my family." People closer to Biggie always speculated that Diddy had more to do with Biggie's untimely death than he was letting on. Even if he wasn't the one who ordered the hit, he's the person who benefited most from it. Artist Lil' Kim and Biggie used to be close before his death. He and Kim had an affair while he was married to Faith Evans, and Kim was even pregnant with his child at one point. Kim seems to believe that Diddy had a huge hand in the murder of her lover. Some people think that the Illuminati are behind Diddy and his actions. After all, no person could so easily dispose of an artist as big as Biggie Smalls. But if Diddy really is involved with the Illuminati and he killed Biggie, then people like Lil' Kim have all the more reason to stay careful. Even Kanye West claimed that Diddy did unspeakable things under the influence of the Illuminati, and he even insinuated that Diddy killed somebody. Could he mean Biggie's death as the murder Diddy committed? People think Biggie isn't the only one who fell victim to Diddy's greed. Tupac before him suffered a similar fate. One person took to Twitter to share these thoughts. Rumors are that Biggie made moves to leave Bad Boy for a deal worth more than $60 million, and that Diddy planned Biggie's death in retaliation. It's also rumored Diddy played a role in Tupac's death, paying $1 million to hire a Crips gang member to orchestrate the killing. Another fan pointed out how Bad Boy Records flourished after Biggie's death. It's as if Biggie's death was the one thing Diddy needed to truly satiate his greed. Biggie's death carried Bad Boy and beyond technically. Though Bad Boy was on fire at daytime, once Biggie died, that fire grew tremendously. Biggie album went diamond, No Way Out 7 million, the rest is history. Without Biggie's death, the label would have crumbled. Others think that even Biggie was aware of what fate was going to befall him. After all, Diddy's greed was clear to everyone. That man was blinded by his greed, and Biggie knew even attempting to escape him would result in his death. A fan tweeted, "Biggie made Diddy more richer dead than he ever did alive." No artist on Bad Boy brought in more money than Biggie Smalls. Diddy legacy is Bad Boy, you nobody till somebody kills you. Biggie knew Diddy triggered his death. That's it for today, folks. Until next time, goodbye.